Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first event hosted by the Department of English Alumni Association of the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. We would like to give you a huge warm welcome and thank you all for taking your Friday evening out to attend our talk. So today we have actually both in-person and online participants, so thank you all for coming. And here, all of you are here to explore the theme of navigating the evolving landscape, diversity, careers, and technology with our very distinguished invited speaker, Professor Martin Szeto, who is the Professor of Practice in Corporate Governance at Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Professor Martin Szeto is also the CEO of Dialogue in the Dark Hong Kong Foundation. Before further ado, let me introduce myself to all of you. My name is Naomi Young. I'm actually previously an alumnus of the English Studies for the Professions program, and now actually I serve as the secretary for the Department of English Alumni Association, and I'm very excited and grateful to have the opportunity to host today's event with all of you. Also, let us explain what we are as a committee. The Department of English Alumni Association. So who are we? We're actually a committee that are made up of very passionate and young thinkers from the English Studies for the Professions program, and we're established back in 2002. Actually, we're closely linked with the English department at Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Our aim are the following three aims mainly. First and foremost, to promote a closer friendship among our members. Secondly, to foster members' further developments in language and linguistic applications, which is the main focus of our English department. And last but not least, to build up the sense of belonging to PolyU. From March 2024 onwards, we actually have only less than half a year ago have recruited the entire new executive committee, which allows us to have the first talk. We'll be having a lot of future events coming up soon, and we look forward to having you all to attend to showcase our enthusiasm for the English department. Our following committee are actually, most of them are here today. We have Fionn in the first row. We have Olivia and Harmon outside for the participation. Naomi, I am, and then we also have Christina and Jack and Estorina joining online. Now, please keep in touch with us about the DEA committee. Department of English Alumni Association. Please visit us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and our ENGO website, our English department website. On the other hand, we also have drinks and a lot of light refreshments waiting outside the door for you. So you can all have a good treat and a good drink with all your friends while being inspired by our talk during our coffee break time later on. Today, without further ado, we're going to begin the event. First and foremost, we're going to invite the head of the Department of the English and Communication Department at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, Professor Eric Frijano, for the welcoming remarks to get the event started. Professor Frijano, please.
Thank you, Naomi. Thank you for the warm introduction and for kicking us off, starting the program tonight, and also the event hosted by our amazing new Alumni Association. I see members. I've met a few of you guys. All the others, maybe this is the first time for you to see me. I'm relatively new here at PolyU. I was telling Professor Szeto, I just joined the department and also the university. I also moved to Hong Kong just about over 2 years ago. I actually moved here during the pandemic period. Well, technically, I was hired when we were still having quarantine. I still did the quarantine. I quarantined for 7 days during that period. I hope we don't remember all of that now, right? But it was a really tricky situation, but I learned a lot and I enjoyed it. One main reason why I moved to Hong Kong, before moving here, I was for over 14 years working as a professor at the Department of Applied Linguistics at Georgia State University in Atlanta, Georgia. But over my education and my work, I was really impressed and very familiar with the department here at PolyU, with the English department at that time. We were renamed English and Communication about a few years ago. You know, outside of Hong Kong, if you ask me, the Poly English department was a really very powerful, very strong, very impressive department all around. Amazing people. Some of you, Fionn, worked with Winnie Chang and Martin Warren. Those were big people in my field. I also was a corpus linguist. And so moving to Hong Kong and moving to PolyU was an easy decision for me because I thought like, well, amazing people were there. They have done a lot of good work. And then also the alumni and students. And so I'm very fortunate to be here. I've really been enjoying my work so far. And let me just share with you that we're also doing a lot of good work. And I'm also excited to listen to what Professor Szeto was going to be talking about, because we also were one of the first individuals and departments and researchers who engaged immediately in generative AI, looking at all of the potential problems, issues, things we have to worry about, but also looking at studying them. I have a couple of colleagues who have published really good papers already about the intersection between corpus linguistics and generative AI, published in my journal called Applied Corpus Linguistics. So we've been working on it, we've been researching, and really being on the cutting edge and forefront of research in this area. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is that we're hiring really amazing people. We're expecting a researcher and professor from the United States, Professor Xiaofang Li, who will be joining us this year. He's really one of the big scholars in task-based language teaching and learning. And just to share with you how we're proud of our department, when he was coming to Hong Kong, he actually was offered by 3 other universities in Hong Kong because of his profile. And he really wanted to move to Hong Kong this year. And he selected PolyU, joined us in the department. And I feel like that's really what we are doing in the university, what we are doing in the department. And it's because of many of you. It's because of your work. It's because of the work of my colleagues. The great accomplishments of the department is actually speaking volumes, not only in Hong Kong, but also globally. So I'm so very, very happy to have the support of the alumni and all of you guys here at PolyU. I know not all of you are from our department, but again, for a talk like this, it's all for all of us, and also learning continuously and looking at how we could actually play in this new changing world. People use the term disruptive when it comes to technology and AI, and maybe it has some of those qualities, but the reality is we are living with it, and there's really no question about us living with technology. It's going to assist us. It's going to be part of what we're going to be doing. So we have to take a look at how it's going to be influencing us. I'm going to end with one, just looking at Professor Seto's background and the Dialogue in the Dark Foundation. There was a Dialogue in the Dark in Atlanta, Georgia. I think they closed now, but in I think about 2012 or 2013, I was able to look at what they were doing. I was talking with Catherine, my colleague Catherine Law, from our marketing manager in the department, and she has been to Dialogue in the Dark many times here in Hong Kong and also in Singapore. And so Catherine was also very much into that whole experience, and I really feel like that's great to have in Hong Kong. And again, we're so honored and very happy to have Professor Szeto here. So thank you, everybody. I know it's a Friday night. Thank you for spending your Friday evening with us. We have a lot of time later on to go and enjoy Friday evening. But thank you for being here. Thank you for all of you guys online, Esterina and Jack and everybody. Thank you all for really organizing this for us. We owe you a lot. So thanks, everybody. And enjoy Professor Seto's talk. Yeah.
Can we all please give a huge, even a bigger round of applause to Professor Fahina, please? As members of the PolyU community, we would like to thank Professor Fahina for his commitments in applied corporate linguistics, quantitative research, language policy and planning, and also his other research such as spoken professional discourse in the workplace, in academia. And now, before further ado, we would like to actually again invite Professor Fahina to come up on the stage, because we would like Professor Fahina to actually take a photo with all of us and also to present the gift that the Department of English Alumni Association has prepared for our distinguished speaker tonight, Professor Martin Szeto. So can we please have both Professor Szeto and Professor Fahina to face the camera right on the left and also in the middle as well? Thank you.
So after this, I can go now.
Yeah.
The gift is here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now, before Professor Fahina and Professor Szeto also leaves, we would like everyone to actually move to the center of the lecture hall to take a huge group photo for all of us to treasure today and to have our first DE events to have a memory of it. Thank you. Okay.
坐坐坐，得唔緊要，呢樣咧，你都得，都唔使得，坐坐坐坐。
Okay, this one first. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more here. Yeah. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay. One more. Everybody have a thumbs up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more here. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Won't be a Hong Kong event without the picture taking, right?
Thank you，唔該晒。
Thank you all for moving all of your seats just to take for the photo, the group photo. And now it's our honor as the Department of English Alumni Association to introduce our distinguished speaker, Professor Martin Szeto, to come up on stage. Professor Martin Szeto is actually an executive educator for decades of global experience in driving innovation, growth, and meaningful change. He currently serves as the Professor of Practice in Corporate Governance at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University and the CEO of the Dialogue in the Dark HK Foundation, DIDF, and he will be sharing insights on technology, strategy, and leadership. Prior to joining Dialogue in the Dark Foundation, Professor Szeto actually has held different roles, including Chief Operating Officer, as mentioned earlier, at Hong Kong Applied Science and Technology Research Institute, and where he actually led optimizations that have tripled technology commercialization revenue. So in corporate executive positions in multinationals, Professor Szeto actually constantly drove double digest global growth through strategic planning, market expansion, and building high performance income. His extensive senior executive expertise has made him a seasoned leader of multifaceted cross-cultural organization. And now, without further ado, may we all give a huge round of applause in welcoming Professor Martin Szeto to come up on stage to give us his talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. Thank you, Professor. You hear me okay? So I don't want to hold mic, so I use this. I feel like home. This is my usual classroom. So I'm almost like a host here. So once again, thank you for your time, particularly on this hot summer Friday night. So today you see there are three elements seemingly not connected: diversity, careers, and technology. Now, because the overarching topic is about career talk, so I'll make sure all these things are connected. So don't worry. That's one thing. So to me, there will be two parts. One is for me to talk about my day job, the Dialogue in the Dark. I'll walk through guiding by a PowerPoint. Then perhaps we'll have some interactions. I'll share my point of view on career/technology. I'm also a senior executive, also a job hunt searcher or whatever. So I can share with you how I utilize this. And now I'm also a teacher, how I utilize AI in teaching. And then finally, we may share some personal story, if not too personal. So, all right, so this is my day job. I joined this company because of their mission. Dialogue in the Dark was from Germany. I'll talk about that. And they're here in Hong Kong for this year is our 15th anniversary. We've been many upheavals, ups and downs. Well, Professor remind us about the 2019 pandemic. I guess you have to relearn your contact because everyone was wearing facial mask, and everyone demasked, and you have to learn the face again. So, so who we are. So, as I said, Dialogue in the Dark was found in Germany. I guess it's 1988. And here's the Hong Kong location. We are the operator for Hong Kong Macau with license on 2 products, dark and silent. So I'll talk about that. We're located in D2 Place. So welcome to join us. So the other dots are all our affiliates in other locations. Fortunately and unfortunately, some of them are closed because of pandemic. I was learned that the one from Malaysia was thinking to restart, and we were the only one who kind of fight against it. We determined not to fire any single person, and that year was very difficult. We'll talk about that. So our mission is to promote our social impact through, we coin a terms called people of differences, or in general speaking, people with disability. So they are visual impaired, hearing impaired, or other disability. During some of the experience and other workshops, we will understand or experience what's the meanings of empathy and inclusions. A lot of things you cannot be learned by sitting there like a classroom. You have to experience it. I'm sure when you went through some boot camps or something, there are activities that you ask you to stand on a high chair and fall down and trust your partner will catch you. That is an experience. You have to go through that mental, physical, hormonal things to learn the experience. And this is the entire theory behind it. You have to go through some experience to really understand it. So this is our little roadmap. Our mother company founded in 1988 in Germany. We introduced this concept in Hong Kong in 2009. By then we did not have our permanent setup yet. We were there like a pop-up store, having seminars, experience, exhibition, just like many other places. They still do this like a workshop. And later on, we have our first permanent exhibition center. Think about it's like a theme park that we have a lot of setting that will let you experience different simulations under a very special situation, which is completely darkness. And the other year, we introduced silence. Silence is about conducted by the hearing impaired colleagues. We rename ourselves as Dialogue Experience because we want to have a total experience. Right now, we offer, I think, a very unique experience that we have combined silent and dark in some of the bespoke programs. So move on, fast forward. We move to our new place in 2019, exactly the year when Eric was here. And once we were there, we start wearing masks. And during that almost 1 year, our venue was closed. So we were moved and we were closed. We have no income because we were those places that people have to come, like karaoke or other things that you have to be a public entertainment things. And we can't have any single dollar. So we were in a life support system, the company, and we're thinking how to survive. Our bottom line is try to keep all the PODs or other staff as much as we can. We end up, I don't think we have fired anyone because of this pandemic. So we start doing our social impactful projects, which is slightly different from experience and other workshop, but related to our missions. Fast forward, so today I'm still standing here, although I just joined them recently. We're celebrating 15 years of anniversary, so we will have one of the signature event. I think some of you might recall is we call Concert in the Dark. Imagine that when you get into a concert, you're usually looking forward to a stage setting, lighting, all the costume, all the lighting effect. There's nothing about this. It's only sound, pitch dark. but you enjoy. You create your own mental picture of what was happening. And that experience usually lasts for about maximum 2 years, because 2 hours, because we don't have toilet breaks. So starting from entering to get your seat, to enjoying the contents, to walk out, is all in pitch dark. So maximum is 2.5 hours. So we were there, and but we have a challenge that we can't look for a better places for that. So right now we moved back to our own location to do some mini concert. We have some this year, so stay tuned to our announcement, and we'll have other activities. So all in all, our product including 2 things: the dark and silence. So we conduct these 2 through what we call impactainment or transformative experience. Again, everything is about experience. You have to. There are 3 types of people come to us. Public. So whoever want to experience darkness, they just book a ticket and come to our hall and play. This is one. So you don't need to anything. Second is corporate. So we will sit down to talk to them on what objective they want. For example, they want to break the silo between 2 departments, or go through some challenge, or meet some other objective. We will customize the content with them through this experience. Big corporations, I don't want to name names, but most of them come to us. And the other group is NGO, schools, and church. So these are our other groups. So we have 3 business units. So in fact, today, about the first part is mostly about the ESG, the middle, the S, because we kind of, every day we talk about ESG, mostly on the E and on the G. And my night job is on the G, so I'm corporate governance things. So that is about the transparency and ethical business practices. I just finished my term of examination, all these things. And environmental, I'm not going to talk about it today, but I think most of you, many companies are doing very, very well. But on the social part, particularly from Hong Kong side, and this is not a well-defined scope. Now, in fact, from our perspective, related to work or tonight discussion is mainly about labor practice and community engagement, and how we see a workplace should be. So I'm going to cite 2 research to try to telling you this is a very important aspect. First of all, the social aspect about diversity and inclusions around or consider about health and safety, engagement, human rights, all sorts of things. And I'm going to cite 2 research. One was done by Lincoln, which was talking about how the world leaders, corporate leaders see things. And the second one was actually co-joined by us with Bowtie, the insurance company. It was conducted last year. And that is reflections of Hong Kong SMEs' opinions about these topics. So whatever research, we know that research told us 3 things. First, inclusion and empathy at workplace will, first of all, enhance employee satisfaction. There's no question asked, and will raise the ethical standard. But that's all relativities, depends on which countries, what industry, what stage of life of your company are. It will definitely affect retention, will have positive effect on your brand imaging, or anyone who work in Hong Kong Express? No? Okay, I can talk about this case. So Hong Kong Express is the opposite of this one. Oops. All right. So the brand was under challenge, I would say. We've just trained Cathay Pacific, and we rang Cathay, hey, can you ask your sister to come? And say, no, stay away, because they feel very, very embarrassed right now. So better collaboration, better team collaboration. This is a must. It's a generalized findings. So let's define it. Inclusion means respecting and valuing all individuals. We said people of differences because we just speak different languages. The hearing impaired colleagues speak hand sign. I can't speak hand sign, but they understand what I'm talking about. And visual impaired people are actually much smarter than many people thought. And so under certain circumstances, if one of our dimensions, for example, our vision is taken away, so we are actually much vulnerable than many of them. So I think that experience will tell us these things. So first, I want to share the LinkedIn research about habits of successful leaders. So it was done by LinkedIn Talent Solutions. I came across this. I think this is important to cite, although it's not that update, but I think content-wise it's quite related to tonight's discussions. First, the overarching statement is almost 90% of CEO believe that the company's financial performance is tightly to the empathy level of workplace, right? So empathy is how you can think and feel from other people's perspective. So there's 5 habits that they suggest us. One is you have to learn your listening ear. You know, in modern days, we try to hearing without listening. We want to hearing to find a space to interrupt because you already have opinions. You wait for that small little pause and you get in to express what you think. A lot of time you come with assumptions. You come with your opinions already. Next time, try to be open. I remember one of my employer gave me a very important training. They call it crucial conversation. So under that circumstances, for example, if you want to fire that person, or if you want to put that person into performance improvement plan, or whatever, that is a tough conversation. What are you going to conduct? So that is a lot of time is about lending your listening ear and avoid assumption, as I said, show presence. So put away your cell phone, look at the eyes, have a enclosed areas, particularly on crucial environment, book a time, be respectful. And I think this is the minimum. Over my 30 years of career, I do 5 people. I remember I was not working in Hong Kong. I choose to flew back to Hong Kong to deliver the message because I think it warrants that respect because they're not just a name on a box, things like that. So it makes a difference. Second habit is embrace change. Everyone knows that change is the only constant, and particularly in the world of information age, where no longer time is money, but information is power. We really have to, things are changing. There's everything that we learn today from school is meant to be, expire very soon. So whatever change you're going to make, before I come here, I was adjusting my company's important policy. I couldn't say anything because some of you are been there. And I did involve employee because it affected positively or negatively with them. I do have experimental. So meaning, let's try something like that. Let's do this and let's do some sandboxing. Let's do this and see what happens. Because even the subject person or department, they don't know what will be the result. Continuous improvement. You map out the roadmap. I say, okay, let's do this and let's review it in September and see how it goes. And then we do the 3rd step. So I never do one-step thing unless it's very urgent. So that will be a plan. Third is as a mentor. Now, I was trying to differentiate the differences between a teacher, a coach, and a mentor. I guess mentor is similar to a teacher, but the ratio is lower. So mentor is usually 1 to few. Teacher is 1 to many. And mentor is trying to let the mentee to avoid things that they have repeated They don't want them to repeat what they have went through. So they want them to grow, and they want them to, give them guidance, sharing information. It's very much like teaching, but teaching is one-sided. Coaching is other things. Coaching is not teaching. Coaching is to inspire the coachee to find answer. That's coaching. So mentor. So you try to be not just the supervisor or colleagues, you try to be mentor, particularly when you have experience in certain areas. But never take an assumption that you say to the young generations that, oh, this happened 10 years ago. It happened 15 years ago. It doesn't work. I can tell you some story later on. So in the world, we only have three things: time, place, and people. With different combination, the result will be different, even though the theme are the same. So look at the movie. How many things theme has been repeated many, many times, but some click, some doesn't. The casting, the directors, all the things were making differences. Welcome different views. Now, this is quite important, yet it's not that easy though. You really have to show, okay, first of all, you gain the trust of your colleagues so that they can voice out. You can say, hey, come and tell me, what do you think? No, don't worry about that. And if your reputation is just the opposite, they will keep the mouth shut. And trust is what? Trust is intimacy plus empathy divided by self-orientation. Meaning, if your intention is solely for yourself, your credibility will be discounted. If you're for the better good of the entire group, they can feel it. Once they have trust, they can talk about things differently. And your track record can tell how really they want to open up to share with you. I think this is a testimonial of yourself rather than them. I think this is my takeaway. Encourage diverse hires. Now, my wife was also related to HR related, but she's in another field now. She's been that field for 20-some years. One of the success cases was she can place a 65-year-old technicians into a place that they never thought about they would, and they blur. He took away his age, just push him for interview, polish him up, and the skills and knowledge will amaze the employer, and the employer willing to hire him and get a special insurance because of his experience. So that tells a lot of things. In fact, 65 is no longer a deadline, I think, unfortunately or fortunately. All right. So we're still young. Yeah. And the other thing is value diversity. You have heard a lot of time when even at my age, I can hear my seniors say, I were at your age, I'll do this. I can't compare, okay? So I compare myself with my son. We are on different space, time, and on different macroeconomics. I can't compare. I can tell you a personal story later on. So this round up the 5 habits from LinkedIn that how a corporate leader would think about. First, the overarching is empathy is important, and how can you conduct that? And this is the 5 habits. This one is ESG findings. This was supported by us with Bowtie and a consultant called ESG Matters. Now, this one was to try to look at evaluate the employee wellness and training situation in Hong Kong. We have interviewed it and get successful response of 225 SMEs in Hong Kong. The collections period was August to October last year, still very update. So we tried to analyze the current state of employees' health and workplace inclusive in Hong Kong companies to promote a better ESG practices, mostly on the S side. So let's see the result. First point. The first key finding is There are positive performance. Majority of companies score well. First of all is these 4 areas: diversity, inclusions, flexibility, work arrangement, zero tolerance, and employee. I think we'll go into details each one of them. Average was 3.6/5. Of course, there's still room to for improvement. This is our first year of measurement. I'm interested to track what happened 2 years later, for example. So on zero tolerance principle, among all the respondents, over 80% of companies said they have zero tolerance policy against workplace bullying and harassment. I think it's good to hear that. And now this one was mostly from Bowtie because the insurance company. They really want to understand how well the coverage of a health insurance for an employee related to 2 things: the eye care and hearing protection. To my surprise, eye care I can understand because I also a beneficiary of this. But hearing, I never thought about. But there's actually a little bit higher than eye care. So maybe the package are bundled together, but at least there's something you're being covered. And in some industry, it is actually very necessary. Flexible work arrangement. So 80% or 81% of company offer flexible working hours. 78% allowed adequate rest period during the working hours. Now, the catch is, what is the working hours? How long is the working hours? But assume it's the normal working hours. That is, you still have space to rest. And of course, you choose to. Thanks for pandemic, perhaps we have technology, we can do, you can work from home. And if my colleagues or myself need to work from home, I can do it. And that will not affect the productivities. So about diversity and inclusion, 46% of companies prioritize inclusivities, and 76% promote diverse ideas and talents. Now, I think this part, the inclusivities has a room to improve, but there's on one fact. In Hong Kong, there's no quota system. You are voluntary to hire any people of disability, or we call PODs, people of differences. Unlike other countries, you may have quotas to fill in. Next step, we will try to work with bigger corporations who have a clear ESG roadmap to kind of help them. We have empowerment and placement service for the educated PODs on many decent work, such as IT, finance, and all this. In fact, in my office, my IT is a visual impaired person. His workstation do not have any monitor. He just have a keyboard. He said, "You don't know what I'm doing. I made a browsing Taobao, and you don't know I'm doing the coding. So actually, I'm buying things from Taobao." And I said, "Okay, fine. I can give you a very secret thing because no one knows what you're talking about." And one of my finance guy is a disability wheelchair person. He only come to the office once a week, but he worked from home. Very smart guy. My deputy CEO was a blind person, so he is also he's a veteran of Microsoft from US, experts on accessibility. So all these things we want to promote this. They are only disabled in certain things, but they are mentally fit or even fitter than us. And how on earth they can't get a decent work like us, right? So let's wrap up this. Maybe we will have a break or pass it on to the host. So first of all, we think empathy and inclusions will give us a strong performance. And of course, we need to train people. Empathy and other mental well-being cannot be taught at school. You have to, go through it by experience. And Okay, you have to set development goals and committed to ESG. So I hope you find this meaningful. And it's just a kickoff of tonight's discussions and trying to, check the box of how diversity related to here, because mostly today I'm talking about workplaces, but we have context about schools, about NGOs and other things. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Professor Martin. So I hope you all are very inspired by this such a thought-provoking talk right now. Are any of you hungry or thirsty? Actually, we're now going to have our 10-minute coffee break. We have a lot of refreshments waiting outside, which you can actually, and you can all leave by the door right next to you guys, right behind you. We would be having a Q&A session right after the break, so stay tuned. So please save all of your questions to ask Professor Martin Szeto right after the break. And please return to lecture hall within 10 minutes. So at around 25 past 8 p.m., please. So we'll see you all soon. Thank you.